YouTubers, welcome back to the Hobbit book series. Today we're looking at Chapter 8, Lies and Spiders. They walked in single file. The entrance to the path was like a sort of arch leading into a gloomy tunnel made by two great trees that leaned together, too woven, strangled with ivy, and hung with linen, witching, a bit more than a few blackened leaves. Excuse me. The path itself was narrow, and wound in and out amongst the trunks. Soon the light of the gate was like a little bright hole right behind. And the way was so deep that their feet seemed to thump along while the trees leaned over them and listened. As eyes became used to the dimliness, they could see a little way to either side, a sort of darkening green glimmer. And occasionally a slender beam of sun that had to let the slip in from some opening at least far above. And still more luck and not being caught in tangled burrows, matted twigs beneath. Step it down, then and right before them. But this was someone, and shouldn't cease altogether. There were black squirrels in the wood, as rippled sharp, inquisitive eyes got used to seeing things. You could catch glimpses on them, whisking off the pavement, scuttling high-chain trucks. There were creaking noises too, grunts, scufflings, and rings in the underground. And among the leaves, they lay, piled endlessly in thickened places on the forest floor. But what made the noises, you could not see. The nastiest things they saw were the cobwebs, then dark, dense cobwebs with threads extraordinarily thick, often stretched from tree to tree, are tangled in the lower branches on each side of them. They were then stretched across the path. But what the weather? Because some magic kept it clear. But for what other reason, they couldn't guess. It was not before long, for they grew to hate the forest was hardly they hated the tunnels of the goblins. And it seemed to offer even less hope of any ending. I had to go on and on. On after they were sick of it. For the sight of the sun and not the sky. A long foot of the wind on their faces. There's no movement of air down in the under the forest roof. It was everlasting, still and dark and scuffly. Even the dust felt it, were used to tunneling. And at the times, for 1 miles without the sun. But having a light holes to make your house in, but not to spend summer days in, felt like he was slowly being suffocated. The nights were the worst, and then became pitch dark. Not what you call pitch dark, but really pitch, so black, you could really see nothing. Bibble tried flapping the sand in front of his nose, but he could not see it at all. Well, perhaps it was not true. They said they could see nothing. They could see ice. They slept all closely huddled together and took in turns to watch. When it was Bibble's turn, he would see gleams in the darkness around them, and sometimes pairs of yellow or red or green eyes would stare at him from a little distance. They slowly fade and disappear. They slowly shine out again in another place. And sometimes they would gleam down from the rafters just above him, and that was most terrifying. But the icy light, the leaves were horrible, pale, bone sort of eyes. They said eyes, not animal eyes. Only they were much too big. One day it was not yet very cold. They tried lighting watchfires at night, but they soon gave that up. It seemed to bring hundreds and hundreds of eyes all around them. All the creatures, whatever they were careful not to let their bodies show in the low flicker of the flames. More still, it brought thousands of dark gray and black moths, some nearly as big as your hand, flapping around the ears. They could not stand that. Nor the huge bats, black as a top hat, neither. So they gave up fires inside the night, and those in the enormous uncanny darkness. All this went on for what just seemed to the hobbit ages upon ages. I was always hungry. But they were extremely careful with their positions. Even so, as days followed days, until the forest seemed just the same, they began to get anxious. The food would not last forever. Once in fact, already began to get low. They tried shooting at the squirrels, and they wasted many hours before they managed to bring one down on the path. But when they rushed it, Indeed, it proved horrible to taste, and they tried no more squirrels. They were thirsty too, so they had much too much water, and all the time they had seen neither spring nor stream. This was their state, and one day they found it half blocked by running water. They fell fast and strong, but not wide enough right across the way, and it was black. I looked in the gloom. It was well that being glowing, and one them against it, or they would have drunk from it. What is color? Filled some of his empty skins and spank. No, Emmy, sit on bed. Emmy, sit. No, sit on bed. Emmy, sit on the bed. Huh? Emmy, did you just figure it out? Never mind. Emmy, sit bed, paw. Bed. Sit on the bed, let mommy 2 feet. I'm not even halfway for the chapter. Sorry guys, Emmy's being monkey. Again. Okay, she didn't stop. Okay. I say what? They only told how to cross it without putting themselves in the water. I bet that bridge of wood across, but they ran them, leaving only the broken post to the bank. People leaning on the brick. And folk cry, "That's the boat! Across the full bank. Now why couldn't it have been this side?" "How far away do you think it is?" asked Warren. Oh, by now they knew. People had the sharpest eyes among them. Not all 4. I shouldn't think above 12 yards. 12 yards? I should have thought it was 30 at least. But I don't see it. As well as they used 100 years ago. Still, 12 yards is as good as a mile. I can't chop it. And we don't try the way I swim. Can any of you throw a rope? What good of that? The boat is sure to be tied up. And even we could hook it, which I don't. I don't believe it. It is tight, said Bibble. Though, of course, I can't be sure in this light, but it looks to me if it was just drawn up on the bank, or just low, just there, would half goes down into the water. Dolly is the strongest, but Fifi is the youngest, and so is the best sight to pull in. Come here, Fifi. I'll see if you can read about Mr. Baggins is talking about. Fifi thought he could. So when he said along wild again in the direction, I just brought him a rope. They had several with them. And then the longest fastened on the large iron hooks they used, and catching the hacks to the straps about their shoulders. Billy took this in his hand and lay for a moment, then went across the stream. A splash! I fell in the water. Never enough, said Bibble, who was peering forward. A couple feet, and you would have dropped it into the bowl. Try again. I don't suppose the magic is strong enough to let you. You just touch a bit of that rope. He hung out the hook when he'd drawn it back, and definitely all the same. This time he threw it with great strength. Steady! said Bibble. You have run it right into the wood on the other side. Now, throw it back gently. Billy, hold. Both back slowly. And after a while, Bibble said, carefully. They are lying on the boat. Let's hope the hook will catch. It did. No and Todd. And Billy pulled in vain. Kitty came to herself and only in and Gordon. They ducked and tugged. And suddenly they all fell over on their backs. Bibble was on the lookout, however, caught the rope, and with a piece of stick, and off the little black boat came rushing across the stream. Yep! He shouted. Ballin was just in time to seize the boat, falling off the current. It was straight at the law, said he, looking at snapped painter that was just dragging from it. That was a good pull, my lads. A good job, our rope was the stronger. Who goes to this? asked Bibble. I shall, said Fordin, and you will come with me. Really, Bully. That's as many as the boat will hold at a time. And that's at Kitty, Oren, Gordon, and Dodie. That next, Lee and Nori. They were both unless stolen bomber. Holy test! They don't like it, a bomber. It's someone else's turn today. Sit on bed, you goofy. Bed! Sit on bed. I mean, sit on the bed. Meow. Mama! Mama! Bed! Honey, go sit on the bed. Bed! Emmy, sit on the bed. Ah, forget it. Okay, I guess you'll just have to do. You should not be so fat. As you are, you must be able to last. The ladies boat load. Don't stop grumbling and get so test. And something bad will happen to you. So I tell you this. Are you gonna push boat back to the far bank as the hobbit? Give me another strength for love and another hook, severely. When they got it ready, he casted it or darkness ahead and as high as he could throw it. Since it did not fall down again. They saw him must have stuck to the benches. Couldn't know severely. And one of you hold on the rope and is stuck in the tree on the other side. One others must keep hold the hook. We used their best. And we are safe on the other side. You can hook it on. We can draw the boat back. In this way, they were soon on the far bank. They've across a tender stream. Dolan this came out the clear rope on his arm. Boomer. So clumsy, scared to fall. And something bad did happen. There was a flying down the hills on the path ahead. All the guns suddenly keep a blind ear. And charged into the doorways. Hold them over. And gathered himself for a leap. Hi, he explained and cleared the water with a main jet. I did not. He's out of sight and safety. Owen was the only one who had kept his feet on his wits. As soon as they had landed, he had bent his bow and fitted an arrow in case any handgun in the boat suddenly appeared. Now he sent a swift and short shot into the leaping beast. As it reached the further bank, it stumbled. The shells folded up, but it heard the sound of hooves. Quickly faltered, then go still. Before they could shut and blaze at the shot, however, they felt wail from Mibble, put all thoughts of mention. And they're like, Boo Boo has fallen in! Wilma's drowning! He cried. It was all too true. Boomer only had one foot on the land when the hut looked down on him and sprang over him. He had stumbled, rushing the boat away from the bank, and tumbled back into the dark water, his hands slipping up the slimy roots of the edge. A little bit span slowly off and disappeared. They could still see his hood above the water. They ran to the bank. Quickly, they found a rope with a hook towards him. His hand caught it and they pulled him to shore. He was running from here to Boots. Of course, but that was not the worst. When they laid him on the bank, he was already fast asleep. With one hand clutching the rope so tight they could not get it from his grasp. Fast asleep, he remained in spite of all they could do. They were still standing over him, cursing the ill luck. And Bummer's clumsiness. And then the loss of the boat was made impossible for them to go back and look for the hut. When they became aware of the wind blowing of horns in the wood, and they sound as if those spying far off. And they all fell silent as they sat, as they could hear the noise of a great hunt going by to the north of the path, although they saw no sign of it. Now they sat for a long time and did not appear to make a move. Bummer jumped down with a smile on his fat face, as he no longer cared for all the troubles that had vexed them. Suddenly on the path ahead appeared some white deer, hanging in fronts as snowy white as hard been dark. Glimmer in the shadows, before the foreign crowd, 3 of the horses and leapt to their feet and loosened their on the bulls. None seemed to find it. Never mind. But deer turned and as in chase, suddenly as they come. In vain. The horses shut their elves after them. Stop! Stop! Said the forehead. It's too late. Anxiety does this. And they wasted their last arrows. And now the bulls that bring given them were useless. They were a gloomy party that night. And the gloom gathering still deeper on them in the following days. They crossed the tangent stream and began the path. Seemed to silent just as before. And in the forest they could see no change. Yet they had known more about it and considered being the hunt and the white deer that had failed upon the path. They would have known they were led straight towards the eastern edge. It would soon have come, and they kept up the courage and hope. They didn't trees and places where sunlight came again. But they did not know this, and they were burdened with the heavy body of Boomer, as they had to carry across and carry along with them as best they could, taking the gruesome task in terms of 4 each, while the others shared their packs. And these had not become all too late in the last few days. They would have never managed it. And resembling smiling Boomer was the poorest range of packs filled with food, however heavy. In a few days, a time came when there was practically nothing left to eat or drink. Nothing wholesome could they see growing in the wood, with fungus and herbs, releasing an unpleasant smell. About 4 days from the enchanted stream, they came to a part where most of the trees were birches. They were at first inclined to be cheered by the change. Oh yeah, there was no one negative, and the shadow was not so deep. There was a greenish light about them, and places they could see some distance to either side of the path. Yet the light only showed them endless lines of straight great trunks like the pillars of some huge twilight hall. There was a breath of air and a noise of wind, but it had a sad sound. A few leaves came rustling down to remind them that outside autumn was coming on. Their feet swiveled. One of their leaves had its other arms that drifted over the mixed path on the deeper carpets of the forest. Phil Bummer slept on the good very immediately. Sometimes they disquieting laughter. Sometimes they were seen in distance too. Her laughter was the laughter. Their voices, not of goblins, and the singing was beautiful, and sounded eerie and strange. I will not comfort it. Rather they hurried on this path with what strength they had left. 2 days later, they found a path going downwards, and full on they were in a valley filled with homeless society, a many grove of oaks. There's no answer to this. That's scared. Boys, said Florian. Tom, but he must climb a tree and see it. And get his head above the roof and have a look around. And anyway, is to choose the tallest tree that hangs. Well, that hangs the puff. Of course, somebody met Bibble. I chose him because he is a climber must get his head above topmost leaves. So he must be light enough for the highest sundermost branches to bear them. Poor Mr. Baggins. I never had much practice in climbing trees. But they hoisted him up in the lowest branches of an enormous oak to get him right into the path. And up he had to go the best he could, and pushed his way through the tangled twigs. Many a slap in the eye. He screamed and grunted, and old Barker greater burrows. More than once he slipped and caught himself just in time. And at last, through a dreadful struggle, a difficult place, where there seemed no confinement branches at all, he got near the top. All the time he was wondering whether there were spiders in the tree, and how he was going to get down again, except by falling. In the end, he broke his head above the roof of the trees, and then he found spiders already. But they were only small ones of ordinary size, and they were after the butterflies. Nibble's eyes were nearly blinded by the light. He could hear the doors shouting up at him from far below, but he could not answer, only hold on and blink. The sun was shining brightly. There was a long while before he could bear it. When he could, he saw all around him a sea of dark green, ruffled here and there by the breeze. And there were everywhere hundreds of butterflies. I expect they were a kind of purple emperor. A butterfly loves tops, love woods. But these were not purple at all. They were dark, vividly black without any markings to be seen. He lived at the Black Emperor's for a long time, and enjoyed the feel of the breeze in his hair and on his face. By that strength, the cries of the voices were now simply dampening the impatience down below. Reminding him of his real business. It was no good. Glaze as much as he might, he could see no end to the trees or leaves in any direction. His heart, which had been lightened by the sight of the sun and the feel of the wind, sank back into his toes. There was no food to go back now. There was no food to go back to down below. Actually, as I have told you, they would not fall off the edge of the forest. And then Bibble had the sense to see it. The tree that he climbed, though it was tall in itself, was standing near the bottom of a wide valley, so that from the tops the trees came to swell all up all around like the edges of a great bowl. And he could not expect to see how far the forest lasted. Still, he did not see this. They came down full of this repair. They got to the bottom again at last, scratched it, hot and miserable. He could not see anything in the globe below when he got there. His report still made the others miserable as he was. The forest goes on forever and ever and ever in all directions. What shall we do? What's the use of saying the hobbit? They cried, as if it was his fault. They not care tuppence about the butterflies, who made more angry. They told them beautiful breeze. Was they too heavy to climb up a field. That night they ate their very best crumbs and scraps and crumbs of food. The next morning they woke up. First thing they noticed, they were still goggly hungry. And the next thing was that it was raining. And here and there, the drip of it was dropping heavy onto the forest floor. And now he reminded them they was also partially thirsty, without. Doing anything. To feed them. You cannot quench a terrible thirst by saying that the rain oaks and wait for chance to drip to fall on your tongue. Don't scrap of comfort was there came suddenly from Bulmer. He woke up suddenly and sat up scratching his head. He could not make out where he was at all, or why he felt so hungry. For he forgot everything that had happened since he set the journey that May morning long ago. Last thing he remembered was the party at the hobbit's house, and he had great difficulty in making him tell the many adventures they had had since. When he heard there was nothing to eat, he sat down and wept, for they felt very weak and wobbly in the legs. Why did I why ever did I wake up? He cried. I was having such beautiful dreams. And when I was walking in the forest, rather like this, only lit my torches on the trees and lamps, made from the branches and lights burning on the ground. And there was a great feast going on forever. And when the king was there, and Cannon leaves, was a merry scene. I could not count or describe the things there were to eat and drink. You need that tonight, said Flynn. In fact, you can't talk about someone else yet. Let it be silent. Like quite annoyed enough for you as it is. You, if you hadn't waked up, we should have left you to your idiotic dreams in the forest. You are no joke to carry even at the weeks of road comments. There was nothing now to be done but to tighten the belts and the empty stomachs, and hoist the empty sacks and packs and truck along the track. Now, I think I hope I've been getting to the end when they lay down, died of starvation. This is they did all that day, going very slowly and wearily, while Beaumont kept on railing, and his brakes would not carry him, or that he wanted to lay down and sleep. No, you don't, they said. They can take this share. They carry you far enough. Well, saying he's suddenly refused to go a step farther and found himself under the gun. Go on if you must, he said. I'm just going to lie here and sleep and dream of food. I can't get it any other way. I hope I never wake up again. And that very moment, Barlin was a little way ahead, called out, what was that? I thought I saw a drink over there in the forest. The other and a long leash way off, and they saw a bright twinkle in the dark. Then another sprang out beside it. Even Bulmer got up, and he hurried on then, not caring if it was trolls or goblins. The light was in front of them, and left to the path. When they at last drawn level with it, seen playing their torches and fires burning under the trees, but a good way off their track. It looks like my dreams were coming true, gasped Boomer, half enough from behind. He wanted to rest off into the wood as the lights. And the others remembered only too well the wines of the wizard and Born Corn. We no good if we never got back alive from it, the foreign. But without the face, we can't make their life much longer anyway, said Bulma. And Bill hardly agreed with him. But yeah, good. read it backwards and forwards for a long time, until they agreed and named to send and a couple of spies to keep near the lights, find no more about them. They could not agree on those to be sent. No one seen dangers, on the chance of being lost and never finding his friends again. And then, despite the warnings, Hunger decided them. Because Boomer kept on describing all the good things that were being eaten. One choice dream, the wildland feast. So they all left the path and went into the forest together. At the good deal creeping and clawing, they appeared and the trunks. Went into a clearing with some trees and felt it, the ground leveled. There were many people there, lavish looking folk, all dressed in green and brown, and sitting on slot rings of the felted leaves, the great circle. There was a fire in the mist, and there were torches fastened to some of the trees about the most splendid sight of all. They were eating and drinking and laughing merrily. The smell of the roast meats were so entrancing that, without waiting to consult one another, every one of them, glad of it, scrambled forward into the rain with the one idea of begging for some food. Once the first stepped into the clearing, all the lights went out as if by magic. Somebody kicked the fire and went up in rockets, green sparks, and vanished. They were lost in a complete lightless dark. They could not find one another, not for a long time at any rate. And the blundering frantically, the gloom, falling over logs and bumping, crashed into trees and trying to call into hey what who must have taken up here in the forest for miles. At last they managed to gather themselves in a bundle and kept themselves by torch. By the time they had was quite forgotten what direction the path laid. And they were all hopelessly lost, at least until morning. They had done before but to settle down for a night where they were. They did not even dare search around for scraps of food and would be becoming separated again. But they had not been lying long, and Bibble was only just getting drowsy and doughy. His journey was lost first, and a loud whisper. The lights had come on out again over there. And then more and ever of them. Up they all jumped. Sure enough, not far away were sources of jingling lights. I heard the voices and the laughter quite plainly. They got slowly towards them. Single line. And each touching the back of the other in front. And got near Fuller and said, "Now who's so full of this thing?" I want to strive from high until I say, I just have Mr. Baggins alone at first to talk to him. I won't be frightened of him. What me about of them, the people. And anyway, I hope they won't do anything nasty to him. When they got to the edge of the circle of lights, they pushed Bibble suddenly from behind. Well, they had time to slip on his rein when Zimmel forward into the full blaze of fiery torches. It was no good. Out went all the lights again, and a complete darkness fell. It had been difficult collecting the cells before. It was even far worse this time. And they simply could not find the hobbit. Every time they counted themselves, they only made 13. They tried and called, Bibble Boggins, hobbit! You drat it, hobbit. Hey, hobbit! Come, how's it? Take you. No, you! All things of that sort, but there was no answer. They were just giving up hope when we stumbled across him by sheer luck. In the dark, he fell over when he thought it was a log. When he found it was a hobbit, curled up fast asleep. And so good. He was trying to wake him. When he was awake, he was not pleased at all. I was having such a lovely dream, he grumbled. No bad having a most gorgeous dinner. Good heavens! It is going like Boma, he said. Don't tell us about dreams. Dinners aren't any good, and I can't share them. The other best, I'm lucky to get in this beastly place, he muttered. So I lay down beside the doors and tried to go back to sleep and find his dream again. But that was not the last of the lights in the forest. Later, one night, something ain't old. Keely was watching then. Came and asked them all again, saying, There's a little blaze of light gone not far away. Hundreds of torches and many fires. Must have been lit suddenly and by magic. On hard to the scene and the hops. And they're lying listening for a while. He found they could not desire to go near, try once more to get help. Help they got again. And this time it was always treacherous. The face they now saw was rain sip of before. And ahead of a long line of feasters sat a woodland king. The cat leaves on his golden head. Very much as Bulmer had described the figure in his dream. The others fell and passed in bowls from hand to hand and crossed the fires, and some were harping and many were singing. The green news tinkled, twined with flowers, green and white gleams. glinted on their collars and belts, and their faces and their songs were little myth. That is clear. Very little songs. Not step forward to the mist. This time, still in the middle of a word. Out went all night. Fires leapt up in black smokes as cinders. When the ice at the door says, in the wood, again was the clamoring cries. Bibble found it himself, and ran and ran, she thought, and calling, Nori, going, Golden, Gritty, Bummer, Bumfer, Dolan, Bullet, Looking Shield. Oh, people he could not see or feel, but then when all the thing all around him, like no Bibble phone in. And the guys at others got the new, not even fainter. Though after a while, Zindian, the East, the yells and cries for help in the far distance. A noise at last died right away. He was left alone in complete silence and darkness. That was one of his most miserable moments. Jim made up his mind that it was no good trying to do anything until day came with some little light. Quite useless to go binding without finding himself out with no hope. Finding breakfast to revive him. So he sat down, his back to a tree, and not for the last time, fell to thinking of his hardest hobbit hole with beautiful pantries. He was deep in thought of making eggs and toast and butter, and he felt something touch him, something like a strong, sticky string was against his left hand. And when he tried to move, he found his eggs were already wrapped up in the same stuff. So then when he got up, he fell over. Then the great spider, who had been busy tying him up while he dozed, came up from behind him and came at him. He could only see the thing's eyes, but he could feel his hairy legs that struggled to wind undownable threads around him. It was lucky that he came to his senses in time. Soon he would not be able to move at all. As it was, he had a desperate fight when he got free. He beat off the creature with his hands, trying to poison him to keep quiet. The small spider stew to flies. To only remember his sword, drew it out. Then the spider jumped back, and he had time to cut his legs loose. After that, it was his turn to attack. The spider eventually was not used to things that carried such stains at their sides, but it would have made the way quicker. Bibble came at him before he could disappear and struck at it with the sword right in the eyes. Then it went mad and and eat and dance. Fun is like dislikes noble own jerks till he hit it with another stroke. I fell down and remembered nothing more for a long while. There was the usual dim grey night and the fullest day bad him when he gained his senses. The spider lay dead beside him, and the sword blade was stained to black. Somehow they're killing the giant spider all alone by himself in there, without the help of the wizard, the dwarves, or anyone else. Very different to Mr. Baggins. He felt a different person, a much wiser and bolder, afraid of an empty stomach. As he wiped his sword on the grass, put it back in his sheath. "I will give you a name," said Toy. "I shall call you Sting." After that, he set out to explore. The forest was grim and silent. Obviously, he had to, first of all, to look for his friends. Well, not likely be very far off, whilst they've been made prisoners by else over things. Bill felt it was unsafe to shout. And he stood a long time, while wondering in what direction the path lay, and in what direction he should go first to look for the dwarves. "Oi, why did we not remember blowing guns and dice?" And Gandalf murmured. "What a mess we are in now. Wait, I only wish it was. We. It is horrible being all alone." In the end, he made as good as I guess he could in the direction from which the cries for help had come at night. And by luck, he was one with a good share of it. He guessed it. More or less like she would see, and made his mind up, and kept on as clever as he could. Hobbits are clever at quietness. I've seen woods, like they told you. So Bibble lived on his own before he started. That's like the slightest them, but saw him or no heard him coming. He picked up his way stealthily for some distance. He noticed the place, then black shadow hit him. Black even for that forest, like a patch of midnight, and never been cleared away. They drew nearer, saw that it was made of houses, one behind, and over, and tangled in another. Suddenly he saw it too. That there were spiders huge and horrible, hanging in the branches above him, and rain and numbing him trembled with fear. Least should they discover him. Standing behind the tree, he watched a group of them for some time. Then in the silence and stillness of the wood, he realized that loathsome creatures were speaking to one to another. Their voices were sort of tinkling and hissing. They could make a million of words they said. They were talking about their horses. It was a sharp struggle, but worth it, said one. What nasty thick skins they have, to be sure. But wager there is good juice inside. Hey, they make fine eating when they hunt a bit, said another. Won't hang them too long, said a third. They're not as bad as they might be. And being none too well, so late, I should guess. Kill them, I say, hissed the fourth. Kill them now and hang them dead for a while. They're done now, I warned, said the first. That's a young nut. I saw one of a struggling just now. It's coming around again. I say, you need to fall asleep. I'll show you. With that, one of the fat spiders ran along the rope till it came to dozens of bundles on the rope from a high branch. Nipple was horrified. Now Danny noticed them for the first time dangling in the shadows. See a dollish foot sticking out of the bottom of some of the bundles. Or here there the tip of a nose. A bit of a hood. To the fattest of these bundles, the spider went. His bullet bummer, I bet, for Bibble. And nipped harder than nose that stuck out. There's a muffled yip inside the whole shadow and gripped the spider straining hard. There was life in Bummer. Still. There was a noise like a kicking a hobbit football, and the nice spider fell off the branch, only catching himself with his own thread just in time. Let us laugh. You were quite right, they said. It means life and kicking. I'll soon put an end to that, hissed the angry spider, climbing back onto the branch. Bibble saw that the moment had come when he must do something. He could not get up the boots. He had nothing to shoot with. But looking about, he saw on this place there were many stones lying in what appeared now to be a dry little watercourse. Bibble was a pretty fair shot with a stone, and it did not take him long to find a nice, smooth, egg-shaped one that fit his hand closely. So boy, he used to practice throwing stones at things. So rabbits and squirrels, even birds, got out of his way as quickly as lightning. They stones doop. When he had grown up, he still had spent a deal of 7 quarters. Start throwing. Swinging into wand. Bows, 9 pins, other quite games. The aiming of throwing sort. Indeed, he could do lots of things. Besides, blowing smoke rings, asking meals and cooking. That I haven't had time to tell you about. There's no time now. While he was picking up stones, the spider always bummer. And soon he would have been dead. And the moment bubbled through. The stone struck the spider plunk on the head and dropped senseless off the tree. Flopped to the ground, with all his legs curled up. The next moment, whizzing with a big web, snapping its cords, and taking out the spider, sitting in the middle of it. Whack! Dead. After that, there was a deal of commotion in the spider colony. And I got the doors for a bit, and I can tell you, they could not see Bibble, but they couldn't make a good sense of the direction from which the stones were coming. As quick as lightning, came running, swinging towards the hobbit, lunging at the long threads in all directions, until the air seemed full of waving snares. Bibble, however, Tom slipped away to a different place. The idea came to him to make the vicious spiders further and further away from the doses. We could. Made them curious, excited and angry all at once. When rapidly had gone off to the place where he stood before, some more stones of these. And had others, and stuff behind. Then seeing among the trees, he began to sing a song to vegetate them and bring them along, all after him. And also let the horses raise his voice. This is what he said. Those fat spiders, spiders in the tree. All fat spiders can't see me. Cook. Won't you stop? Stop your spinning and look for me. Old Tom and nobody. Old big body, old Tom, nobody. Can't spy me. At your cup. Down you drop. You'll never catch me up your tree. Not very good, perhaps. So he must remember he had to make it up himself. Once we're on a very awkward. Moment. I did what he wanted anyway. So tiny flew some more stones and stippled. Particularly all the spiders in the place came after him. Some dropped to the ground. Others raced along the branches, some from tree to tree, and cast new ropes and crossed the dark places. They made fires at least far quicker than he expected. They were frightfully angry, quite far from the stones. No spider. Instead of a big light, let's have Tom nobody. Of course, it's insulting to anybody. Off people scuffled to a fresh place. The soul of the spiders I run now to different points of the glade where they lived. We're busy spinning webs across all the spaces between the stems. Those in the habit will be caught. Big fence to them all around him. At least that was Spider's idea. Standing now in the middle of the hunting and spinning insects. People locked up their squares and began the song. Lazy club, a crazy club. I'll be in webs to line me. I can fall more sweet than any meat, but still they cannot find me. Here I am, naughty little fly. You are fat and lazy.